Monster Hunter, in my opinion, is one of the most challenging game series. Contrary to what most people believe, new players are actually playing the easiest Monster Hunter games. The hardest ones are from the first and second generations, which were released on the PlayStation 2 and PSP. First of all, when you play these games for the first time, they will definitely not feel fair. In these games, if you fall into the Dark Souls trap and try to dodge enemy attacks by rolling, it won't work because rolling in this game is quite ineffective. When I played Dark Souls after Monster Hunter, I found the bosses in Dark Souls surprisingly easy. Thank you, Monster Hunter. Anyway, I started playing Monster Hunter with Freedom on the PSP, completely unaware of what I was getting into. It was like stepping into hell for the first time. For those who don't know what Monster Hunter games are about, here's a brief summary. Monster Hunter games are primarily about boss fights and crafting equipment. Because of this, the first Monster Hunter, which was released in 2004, was a highly visionary game for its time. You fight huge monsters, craft their armor and weapons, level up and move on to the next creature. Yes, grinding is everything in these games, but that's also the most fun part. Once you feel like you've mastered the mechanics, the real enjoyment begins as you go from one monster to the next. All Monster Hunter games build upon the previous ones, however. Some spin-offs that come out in between may feel overly similar to each other, which can be a bit confusing. For example, the first two Monster Hunter games were released on PlayStation 2, and although they share similar mechanics, new weapon types were introduced in the next game. There are a total of 4 Monster Hunter games on PSP. Monster Hunter Freedom, Monster Hunter Freedom 2, Monster Hunter Freedom Unite, Monster Hunter Portable 3. Here, Monster Hunter Freedom 1 and 2 correspond to the first and second PlayStation games. Unite is an expansion pack for Freedom 2, adding a new rank called G Rank to the game. Portable 3, released in 2010, is an adaptation of Monster Hunter Tri from the Wii to the PSP. Therefore, technically, Portable 3 is the easiest Monster Hunter game on the PSP. Let's talk about today's topic, Freedom. Freedom, in my opinion, is the dullest among the PSP games. There are several reasons for this. The first reason, as anyone who has played it would know, is the very limited weapon variety. Every Monster Hunter game has a roster of monsters, and the lineup in Monster Hunter Freedom feels a bit sparse. Many of the new monsters are just variations of existing types. Why are Monster Hunter games so hard? The main reason is that the games don't have a fair difficulty curve. Every monster has a hitbox, and those hitboxes are awful. Of course, it's not impossible to get used to them, but you'll need to put in about 50 hours of gameplay to adapt. After overcoming this stage, you'll be able to play all Monster Hunter games comfortably. Hitboxes were much worse on the PlayStation 2, but improved somewhat in the PSP adaptations. That's why Monster Hunter Tri, being a third-generation game and Portable 3 being its adaptation, is the easiest game in the series. It's also the most enjoyable. The weapon mechanics in this game are very clunky. Many weapon features that will appear in later games are absent here. For example, the Great Sword's charge attack isn't in this game. Katanas are considered a type of great sword here. They will be introduced as a separate category in the next game. See you in the next Monster Hunter reviews. Don't forget to subscribe.